I came home after a year of 12-hour shifts under a sun that could peel paint off steel, dreaming of the hush that only 6 acres of high desert Arizona can give a man. I was 52, bone-tired, and ready for the creak of my own porch swing. What I found instead was a cedar fence where my old split rail used to be, 3 stucco mansions gleaming like they'd been airlifted from Scottsdale, and a polished sign that read Stone Ridge Circle. Homeowners Association, private access, members only. My little square house sat in the middle of it all, looking small and stubborn, the way a man feels when the world decides he no longer exists. I'd left everything in order. Travel notice filed with the county, monitoring service paid up, power shut off, well locked, laminated card in the window, temporary absence, not abandonment. I'd watched friends lose land to loopholes. I wasn't about to join them. Yet here were strangers sipping Chardonnay on porches built on my dirt, and a woman in linen heels clicking toward me like she owned the deed to gravity itself. "May I help you?" she asked, clipboard in hand, smile thin as a credit card edge. "You can start by explaining why 3 houses are squatting on my property," I said. Her eyebrows didn't move. This parcel was declared transitional after 13 months of non-occupancy. No utilities, no mail, no response to notices. The association applied for emergency housing authorization. All perfectly legal. I felt the heat crawl up my neck, the same heat I'd worked under overseas, only now it had a target. I filed paperwork. "I have receipts." She flipped a page. "Mr. Harold Brooks, the process moved forward in your absence. Any reversal would carry significant consequences." She extended a manicured hand. "Eleanor Whitmore, president of Stone Ridge Circle. Welcome to the neighborhood." I left her hand hanging and drove the perimeter road that used to be my fence line. The land still knew me, every dip, every mesquite shadow. They'd paved the skin, but the bones were mine. That night, in a roadside motel that smelled of bleach and old coffee, I spread 15 years of documents across the table. Deed, survey, notarized agreements, clean as the day I signed them. By sunrise, I was at the county records office. The clerk, a kid with a Vote Local sticker, pulled 2 files. One was mine. The other was a transitional claim signed Harold Brooks in handwriting that wasn't mine and co-signed Thomas Brooks, my father, dead 7 years. The notary? Daniel Pierce, retired 5 years ago. I printed everything. The paper felt heavier than gravel. 2 blocks down, the planning office smelled of floor wax and panic. Supervisor Daniel Mallory had approved every permit, but drone photos I'd later obtained showed bulldozers breaking ground 3 months before the first stamp. Mallory was on sudden leave. The receptionist's fingers shook when she handed me the file. Back at the Ridge, my mailbox had vanished, replaced by an HOA-branded cluster. A delivery driver told me all mail now routed through their Phoenix office. They hadn't just taken my land, they'd stolen my voice. I called 3 people I trusted with my life. Laura Kendrick, attorney, sharp as a branding iron. Nathan Hale, cyber tracker, quieter than a hawk's shadow. Monica Ruiz, ex-NYPD investigator, eyes that missed nothing. Laura filed an injunction before lunch. Nathan found camera footage wiped from an IP registered to the HOA. Monica's retired teacher buddy flew drones for fun. His time-stamped photos showed foundations poured before permits existed. Then Nathan unearthed the memo. 15 words that turned my stomach. "Eleanor wants the Brooks parcel ready for Phase 2 by Q2. Assume he won't return. Assume he won't." I read it until the letters burned. We met them in a Sedona mediation room that smelled of new carpet and stale ambition. Eleanor sat regal, flanked by her attorney and a dentist named Paul who liked to posture on local radio. I played tired, shoulders slumped, voice low. "I just want my home." Eleanor smiled. We acted in good faith. The land was vacant. Laura slid the drone photos across the table. "Construction began 91 days before your first permit." Eleanor's attorney opened his mouth. Laura wasn't finished. "And the digital notary certificate chains to a shell account, not Daniel Pierce." Eleanor's pen hovered. "We used a contracted notary service. Standard procedure." Standard. The word hung like smoke. The room recorded every syllable. 2 weeks later, the courthouse gallery was packed. Neighbors, reporters, law students smelling blood in the air. Judge Marilyn Carter listened without expression while Laura laid out the case like bricks, forged signatures, backdated permits, scrubbed cameras, the memo that assumed I was a ghost. Witnesses took the stand one by one. The retired notary swore he'd never seen the documents. A contractor admitted he'd been paid through a Nevada LLC linked to Eleanor's maiden name. Nathan walked the judge through IP logs on a screen big enough for the back row to see. Eleanor's attorney argued community need, emergency housing, clerical oversight. Laura produced the mediation transcript. MS. Whitmore stated on record they used a contracted notary service. The county shows no such service licensed. Judge Carter's gavel fell like a judge's gavel should. Full title restored to Harold Brooks. Structures vacated within 15 days. Damages and utility misuse to be compensated. Case forwarded to the district attorney for criminal investigation. Deputies stepped forward. Eleanor stood slowly, wrists cuffed in front of God and the evening news. Paul the dentist covered his face. The doors closed behind her with a thud that echoed longer than it should. The HOA dissolved within a month. Accounts frozen, members scattering like quail. Charges followed. Forgery, perjury, conspiracy. I didn't attend sentencing. The land had work to do. I kept 2 of the mansions. Tore out the granite vanities and vinyl plank. Put in reclaimed pine and saltillo tile. Let the desert back into the walls. I listed one as the house that Greed built. Short-term rental. It booked solid. Guests leave notes. This place proves the little guy can still win. My own house sits where it always did. Porch swing creaking in the evening breeze. A new sign guards the entrance. Private property, former HOA compound. Trespassers will be mocked, then prosecuted. People still drive up the dirt road, cameras ready. Is it true they built on your land and now pay you rent? They ask. Every month, I tell them. On time. The sun drops behind the canyon, painting the ridge copper. Cicadas tune up. I sip coffee on the porch and listen to the quiet I crossed an ocean to find. It's back, deeper now earned. Paper burns. Land endures. And some fights are worth every blister. What about you? Ever watch someone try to steal what's yours with nothing but a smile and a stamp? Ever had to decide between walking away and standing your ground until the ground remembered your name? Drop your story in the comments, especially if it's about the quiet violence of paperwork or the loud justice of a gavel. Tell me where you draw the line between letting go and fighting back. I read every one.